welcome to another episode of Fighting Words. Just two dads talking about the UFC, all about news, all about fight analysis, and much, much more. And I'm joined by Tyrelle. What's going on, my man? Another week, another fight card down. How you
Yes,
doing?
sir. I'm good, doing good, man. It's good to be back again. Back-to-back weeks for the first time
Look
in
at
a
us.
while.
I know. Look at us. We're a couple of pros out here. We can
Is it
actually do
back-to-back
the dang
weeks?
thing.
It is
Yeah,
back-to-back
yeah, it
weeks.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little excitement, I guess, around UFC 303. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad to be back. I feel like this card was a surprisingly good card. And I'm glad we get to talk about it. You know, we're not going to go line by line through every single fight. They don't pay us the big bucks for that. And honestly, if we care more about the bigger name fighters. So,
That's right.
um, I know typically we kind of work our way like backwards and do like the first fight of the night, but I feel like and to the main event. But I feel like the main event needs to be talked about first. What are we doing? Picking Yuri over Poatan. Like, what are we
I'm
doing?
disgusted at myself. I can't believe I did that. I don't know, man. And I kind of want to go scorched earth on Yuri because I think he's kind of a bum. But I'm a reserver. You know, he looked a little crazy. I'm worried that if I did see him, he may do something to me. So I'm not going to talk
Yeah,
too crazy about Yuri Proska, but I think Buddy's a little overrated. I'm sure if you go back to one of our earlier episodes, I alluded to that. That thinking that, I mean, he was also Glover Teixeira. I mean, yeah, he beat up Dominic Reyes, but like, yes, he has a lot of fights. Um, but even Rockets was doing well against him. I think that I just got wrapped up in a short notice fight.
mm-hmm.
This weird aura he puts out in the world to make you feel like he's something that he's not. And I watched Buddy. He pretty much got finished in the first round. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
He was cooked. He was cooked after that. Poatan, if there was a couple seconds left, he probably just hit him with a nasty like downward strike, and it'd probably been over. Like finished him there. But then to get hit kicked like that, it was just like I don't know what he's doing. How are you fighting a kickboxer with your hands down that low? What are you doing? Like,
listen, I think it's the age old story. We can say that he's, like not fit to be a champ. I mean, he was a champ, so at least he was able to get that belt. But my thing is with Yuri is that I think because of the fact that Poatan is literally in another realm, like he's gonna play second fiddle to that, and like it just happened so
maybe
that
third.
Alex, I don't know, like
I think
I
Jamal Hill could beat him too.
I think Jamal Hill is high off his own supply. We can maybe talk about what he said afterwards, but um, I certainly don't think there's anyone close to Alex right now in terms of the light heavyweight division. I think that there's a lot of uh, I think there's a lot of hype around him, and I think it's deserved. And I think at first I didn't want to believe in that, but now that like he's continued to prove himself, I'm like, no, this guy's just legitimately better than everyone else. And the matchup between him and Jiri, like I should have known that, like, hey, this is gonna hurt for him because Jiri is an unorthodox fighter that 99% of people that he fights against, he loses against. Oh no, he beats, but that 1% is Alex, and that 1% is the best kickboxer in UFC right now, like just straight up the best. And I think that we have to. I sent you that image on Instagram where it compares Khabib and it compares Alex Pereira,
Yep.
and they have the same stats, and one has done it in a very short amount of time, and one has taken a very long time to do so. That's not
Yep.
to say that Alex hasn't lost. I mean, he got knocked out by Izzy, but other
That's
than
right.
that, that's the only flaw we've seen from him. I do think Poatan makes a good run at the heavyweight title, but I don't think it's next. I think Ankalaev is going to be the next fight. Do you think he's going to heavyweight next?
Ooh, no, no. Because and I say that just because the division is not clear. Like the fact
No.
that Curtis Blades and Tom fighting, and then John's fighting Stipe, where does he fit into that? He needs to wait till all that's cleared out. So I think we see. I would not be surprised if we see Alex fight again on the same card as John Jones and Stipe,
To
defends his
promote
belt
that.
to promote that. So after he wins, he could then be there to challenge John. Because I don't know if Tom beats Curtis Blades, I'm be honest, and that's like perfect for John Jones because no one's going to rave and push for him to fight Curtis Blades. So then he can then push also want to fight Alex, but he also say he may retire, and I believe him. He may
Yeah.
fight Stipe
I mean,
and
he's
retire
what
because,
sending DMs to fans saying he's going to retire. So,
and honestly, that Stipe fight I don't think is gonna be easy. I think it's
No,
a hard matchup, and it's gonna be grueling, and they're both old, and
I
he
don't think it's
may
going
have
to
a
be
long,
pretty.
yeah, maybe a 5 round fight, and he may be like, you know what, I don't got it no more. I'm gonna retire after this. I'd be okay with that.
Viewers, put a pin in what Tyrell just said about my man Tom and just complete disrespect on his name. We'll come back to it when Curtis is literally dead on the canvas after he gets knocked out. So,
Even if he
um,
does knock him out, right? Let's say he knocks him out.
mhm.
Your boy can't beat Alex
I think the wrestling could be the biggest difference there, and I'm not
if
just
he can get
saying
him
that.
down.
If
If
he
he
can
can
get
get him
him
down.
down, the boy's a lot bigger than Alex. I know Alex is a tall dude and he's a big man, but Tom is Tom.
Alex probably walks around at 245, 250.
I don't. I think it's 230. I'm pretty sure that's what he walks around at is 230.
He
So,
seems like his body can fill in very nicely at
oh, I
heavyweight.
think if you give him enough time, for sure. I think that fight is so much better. And here's my dream scenario. You ready? I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that you have the Curtis Blades Tom Aspinall fight. Tom beats him, defends his belt that is an interim championship. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Then what you have is John Jones's Stipe fight. They both retire. John's like, "Hey, I'm done. Like, I'm an old man now. Like, I'm fat from cocaine. Like, cool, done." Alex and Tom, that's the fight that will get made, and I do see that for the unification of the heavyweight title. Because here's the thing:
Filthy.
what other heavyweight is really in consideration? Volkov? No, he's like 2 wins away before he gets after. I know he beat Sergey Pavlovich and he did it pretty handily, but like,
I guess Surreal gone.
yeah, Cyril Gane. But is he slated to fight someone? Like, I still haven't
I
heard.
think I think he's just hanging out waiting. Maybe
Yeah,
he'll fight Alex. Maybe Alex will fight him.
if that's the case, that I think is definitely a loss for Gane because he's not going to be able to handle it. But I just don't think that.
That's
Yeah,
a great striker. That
he's
actually
still
is.
not fighting anybody. Yeah,
I
the
actually
fact
like
that
that
he's
matchup.
yeah, me too. It's a very interesting. If that's his introduction to heavyweight, cool. But I don't think that Alex is going to fight immediately at a heavyweight right away because Ankalaev is still there. Alex said he would like to fight. I think that
Khalil
I,
Roundtree's there too.
yeah, I think with the PED issue,
Oh, he's gonna be out for a
like
while, maybe.
I think he's out for like I think 6 months. So I think that's backtracked. So he'll probably be back before the end of the year. But I think that that's really a tough thing to say. And I think that Alex wants to fight one more time before the end of the year. And I don't think Khalil has enough gas to get there. Um, I don't think Jamal Hill fights him again. I think Jamal Hill's a bad matchup for Alex. I think that you had picked him at UFC 300.
I think it's a
Um,
good matchup.
I know you
I
do.
do. I
I
do.
just I think that I think I would have liked to see the fight play out a little bit more in UFC 300. I'd be a little more confident in Jamal, but the fact that he just got just absolutely
But
destroyed. I
but
know.
but look what happened though. That matters. If you're playing chess with one of the best strikers, and he gets an advantage, and he's that long, and you're by the cage, where are you supposed to go?
Yeah,
And Jamal may have not even been aware he got that much closer to him because it happened so quick. He's so worried about he caught him in the cup, and it was
yep.
perfect timing for Alex. Alex knew what he was doing though, which I mean, kudos to him. But
Protect your neck. That's all I
for
gotta
sure,
say.
for sure, for
Protect
sure,
your neck.
I do think that fight's a lot closer, and that's probably his hardest matchup, man. Honestly, I
It's
might
an
be the hardest
interesting
matchup.
one. I would like to see it run back,
Me
but I don't
too.
think we're gonna get it. I think Ankalaev could be a little bit more difficult with the wrestling.
He's
But
born though. He don't sell
yeah,
tickets. Jamal does. Jamal sell more tickets than Ankalaev ever could. Nobody cares about Ankalaev. Like the Russians will push for him to get a championship because they do all their boys who suck. But like they do. They're not entertaining fighters at all. They're boring.
no.
Shout out to Islam. Islam, we don't necessarily
Islam's
like
the
you on this
most.
channel. We don't like you on the
Yeah,
channel. To be honest, buddy. But you're the most entertaining out of all of the crop that y'all have
yeah,
presented so far at
it's
this
true.
point. And that's not saying much because you're not that entertaining either when you start getting danger. But Ankalaev is not worth it. I'd rather not see. He needs to go to Bellator probably. Go over there, buddy.
Yeah,
Go there. But he'll probably be next. And if he
yeah,
wins, then we're bored again. We're bored in light
yeah.
heavyweight again. We're bored. So
Yeah, exactly. So I'm interested to see how it shakes out, but at the same time, let's give Alex the fun fights. I think we've only got him for a few more years. The UFC might as well get as much money as they can out of it. So, and I think that he's their cash cow right now. I mean, the fact the guy literally
100%.
came in and
100%.
saved a card without Connor, and people got their money's worth. Like, awesome.
Yeah.
And speaking of people who got money's worth, Dan Ige and Diego Lopez, that talk about. I got two things to say. Can I just let me speak first? Let me rant for a second.
Go
First
for it.
thing,
Go for it. ISO
Brian
on you.
Ortega. Brian Ortega. Stop taking fights that you're going to back out of. I think he's backed out of how many fights over the course of his career. And this one, he led the UFC to believe that he was going to be able to be a good fill in for actually, like, I understand he got sick. I understand. But like, if you're already feeling crappy, don't take the fight, you moron. So, like, one, you're ruining what could potentially be a good card. And the second thing is, the UFC is the best promotion in the face of the planet, and nobody can come close. The fact they were able to do that 3 hours before they call up Danny Ige and say, "Hey, you want to make some money? Come on down." And then not only does he make some money, but he puts the work to Diego in the second round, and he looked great. I mean, he looked great. I mean, it was 165 pounds catch weight. They could officially say they were the first people to fight at 165 pounds, ranked fighters. Cool. That's awesome. Maybe that leads into the 165-pound division actually becoming a thing. I don't think it will. But I think, shout out not to Dana for this, by the way. I don't know if you know who the architect was behind all of this, but it was Hunter Campbell. He was the reason. And I think he'll be the guy that end up replacing Dana.
For sure.
But how they did this and how they put this together to save a Kona main event fight, by far one of the coolest things. And probably, honestly, they should be like, should have been both gifted the BMF belts for this alone, just to go do that. Like, even if it's just like, hey, here's an attaboy. But the fact they didn't get fight of the night, the fact they didn't get anything else, I'm sure they got paid out of their minds to go save this. But
Yeah.
shout out to both of those guys. And I think Diego Lopez has a very high ceiling in the featherweight division. And I don't know if he's champ. Maybe if Max leaves, like I think there might be a clear way for him. But kid's good, man. Kid's a problem, and I think we should be excited for his next fight against Movsar Evil if they do end up fighting.
I like to see him against Arnold Allen.
Me too. If Arnold
But
wins his next fight,
Josh Emmett.
that was something that I heard tossed around. I was like, that's the perfect fight to throw him in deep water and see if he'll figure it out. Yeah, I think that's the one because Josh Emmett's kind of the testing stone for all of the guys to get up into the top title contention.
He may make another run, and I think I like to see him get another chance.
Yep.
Especially after he did Bryce Mitchell. But Danny Ige, when I read Danny Ige, he like messaged Hunter Campbell. Was like, hey, like give me this opportunity. I'm ready. I can. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think that's so fire. And then I read that he said that he got 3 times his normal pay to fight this fight, and he's ever made. Like he deserves it for sure.
He deserves 5.
And they told him that they owe him, so whatever he wants. And I saw maybe a couple hours ago, and sorry guys out there, listeners out there, I don't know if this is 100% true, but Dan Ige was asking for a fight against Ryan Garcia in the Spear. And the Spear wants to fight Ryan Garcia. So I mean that would be a lot of eyes on them, and why not? Why not, right?
Give it to him. Give it to him. I mean, I think Diego wants to fight in the Sphere too. Like, they need to go all out for that card anyway. I mean, we deserve another banger card for this year. Not that we already haven't had a lot of them, but like the Sphere should be the thing that kind of puts that place on the map for fighting. But yeah, that's an awesome. I hope that they fight. I hope that he gets something more exciting than another middling, fight.
Is Dan naturally he's a 45er, right? Or is it 55er?
I think he's a 45er, yeah. Yep.
Another big fight too. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, I think that's a perfect matchup for them. Yeah. Yeah, I love that it got saved. I love Diego Lopez got the win. Obviously, it was a decision, but we can't always have the knockouts. But we'll quickly go through the rest of the card. I'll have some hot takes on some of these, but light heavyweight fight between Roman Dolidze and Anthony Smith. Short notice fight for both gentlemen. Roman Dolidze moves up a weight class and kind of just had his way with Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith can throw leather to save his life. I think he was lost out there. I kind of hope he retires. Like, there's no reason for him to continue to fight. He's made his money. He can make more money being an analyst and a podcaster. Like, do that. Don't waste your time in the cage more. You're not fighting for a belt. it,
Yeah.
it was only interesting if you would have won
It
on the same
worries me.
card as Alex Pereira to
I
potentially
feel like
build
some
something,
people, their
but
whole
like,
identity is fighting. I know he
nah,
does a podcast and
nah.
he does some analyst stuff too, but maybe he doesn't really believe that he has
Hmm.
the ability to stop fighting. Like that's
Yeah.
such a big part of his identity. I hope that's not true because I feel like by now he would already retired, right? With the record he has, how many losses he's had. I know he's had some wins here and there sprinkled in, but
Hmm.
to think that he's still attempting to climb that mountain when it's very clear that he is not of the upper echelon of that division in talent, that you would think he'd be like, all right, it's time for me to go, or even try 185 if he can make that. I don't know if he can make
Hmm.
185, but like, you would think he would look for like some kind of shake up, and he hasn't. I'm like,
Yeah.
so some people, I just wonder if they're just like, this is all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna be more of these kind of things if he continues to fight
He's old and
because
slow,
he is
man.
a well-known
He's old
fighter.
and slow.
He is in the top 15, right? He's still in top 15, isn't he? Yeah. So it's like but he's still going to always get higher ranked fighters.
I think he
They're not going
was.
to
I
give him
don't
like
think he
this
will be
50th
after
ranked
this
guy
fight.
in their division. They're going to give him top 15, top 20 guys. Those are tough fights because
Hmm.
their competition is only getting younger. So I agree. I hope he
Yeah.
decides it's time to hang him up because he wants to see him go out there and get hurt,
Hmm.
um, stuff like that, man. And you've had a good career, man. You've competed for a championship,
No.
but the sport
No.
has ups and downs, and new talent comes in and it changes. And if you don't change with it, man, you get left behind. And don't stay too long. Don't be Tony Ferguson, overstay your welcome, and go on a crazy, nasty streak and make us revisit how we actually feel about you. You know,
No.
so
Yeah. And yeah, I already don't feel that great about him, so I'd hate to feel worse. But yeah,
poor Anthony,
yeah,
please.
I agree with everything you said there. And then
Rest in peace is
I just,
crazy.
yeah, I don't
Say a man
know.
is alive. He's
Yeah,
alive. You can say
rest
get
in
well
peace.
soon. Get well soon. Say get well soon, man. That's all.
To his career, to his career. Man. The next fight was with women's bantamweight. Macy Chiasson. I told you. I remember we were talking about this fight. I told you she was going to beat her with the striking, and she just knocked her out. And it's yay. MBS's story is
PSL.
written. It's over. Like she's chalked.
PFL, here you
Like
come.
there's no other way to say it. She's chalked. Like I don't think there's a path upward for her. Yeah, I don't think that there's a legitimate opening in the women's bantamweight division, especially with better fights for
Yeah.
Kayla Harrison. There's just better things for that division to move on to. It's a bummer because she was promising, but I just don't think it's a now. That's not to say I'm going to completely write her off, but I mean,
Yeah.
she just doesn't look like a
It's
person who
over.
can compete at that upper echelon, and I think we've seen it proven now in 2 fights. So it kind of sucks, but it's over for her. Yeah. And then speaking of things over, I think Michael Venom Page's title hopes are over in the welterweight division. I think
Oh,
losing to
here
Ian
we go.
Machado Gary, he needed to win. I don't like Ian Gary. In fact, I despise him. And I think the way he fought was boring. I just can't stand guys who.
I don't care.
I mean, I get it. Michael Venom Page is not an easy guy to
Shit.
like figure out on the
Yeah.
feet.
What it is,
Yeah,
and that's exactly
but
it. What it
it's
is
just
he
yeah.
talks too much for a
I
person who
hope he
doesn't go
gets
out there and
beaten.
finish people.
Yeah,
Like, if you were out there finishing people, we would have nothing to say because you're talking the talk and you're walking the walk.
right.
But when you go out there and you do that, like you get these decision wins, and I don't know, it's boring. And even like with Jeff Neal, like he wasn't trying to bang with Jeff
Yeah,
Neal. Like he was out there, he was scared, like being scary. And I'm like, nobody can respect it, man. People are looking for finishes. Shavkat finished Jeff Neal, bro. Like, what's all about it? Throwing hands with him. You go,
the Shopcott has 18 finishes in his entire career. So like we're talking about like levels to this, and I think that Ian
yep.
Gary has been exposed is what I'll say. He has an undefeated record, but I don't think that his wins in the upper tier of the top 15 have been as convincing as Jack Della Maddalena or Shavkat. Both of those guys undefeated as well in the UFC, and both guys are much better
I don't
fighters.
think he
Like
can beat
I
any
don't
of the
think
top
Ian Gary
five.
makes it out of
And
Jack.
the one person
Yeah,
who I
like
feel
I
is
think
not
he
top
gets
five, that he's
whooped
maybe
up on.
6 or 7, is Gilbert Burns. And he may be able to beat Gilbert because Gilbert just, he is tough fight, tough fight, tough fight, tough
I
fight,
think
tough
he's
fight.
fighting
It's
though.
a tough
I think
fight
Gilbert's fighting Sean
because
Brady
that's
or
a tough
somebody.
fight,
Yeah,
man. Because Gilbert's wrestling is not really wrestling. That's a
yeah.
tough fight. That's a tough fight. Let me think about that one. That's a tough fight for
Yeah.
Gilbert. I'm a big Gilbert fan, man. I'm
Yeah.
sad for him
Do you
because I
think it's
think
a
that
tough
like
fight?
we're at the end here. I think that Sean Brady fight he's probably going to lose, and then it's over. Like I don't know where you go from there. Like, it's over, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was winning that fight too. I thought he
Yeah.
was winning that
I
fight.
think losing to Jack was kind of when it was over. So, yeah. I know until he got his
Get well
head
soon.
caved in. Good grief. That was nuts. Oh, man. I think the last. Yeah, get well soon. I think the only other thing to talk about on this card is Peyton Talbot. I think this kid's going to be fun when he starts fighting other guys. He's got the swagger, he's got talent, and it's clear that they need to start giving him better fights. I think he even called out. Did he call out Danny Gay? I think he did, or at least
It'll
like
be a
said
tough fight
something
for
about him
him.
on Twitter,
Yeah.
which is a good call out. It's a high
Side note
call
about
out.
this
I
young
don't think
man.
he'll get it, but
We're
I
PG
like
13
it.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Zesty? A little zesty? Is he a little zesty? He's a little zesty, right?
Zesty, a little zesty. That would be the first of
Hey, man, if
the
you're
UFC
against people
fighters
like
that
that,
I've known to be a
yeah,
little zesty. But
regardless of
hey,
who you
man,
want to
you
be.
know
But
what?
like,
Live
what
your
I'm
life,
saying
brother.
is, I ain't gonna say nothing to you. If that's you, I'm good, man. I am good. Like, but
Yeah.
I was like, hold up, see, but you never know. Maybe so. Maybe so. Can I? And then while we're at this part
Maybe,
of the car, I like to
hey,
go
if he
from
rocks and he rolls
Charles
with it, you
Jourdain.
know what?
I thought a few years ago
Live
he
your
was actually
truth,
going to be
brother.
something, and Buddy is just.
Yeah, and then he just get
It was not
flatlined.
good.
Yeah, brother.
Not
Like,
good.
rest in peace is all I
Not good at
gotta
all.
say. Like, we thought maybe, yeah, no,
Ooh, dude, that's a
that
good
was
fight.
tough. Oh
That's
no,
a
it
very good
wasn't.
fight.
It wasn't Danny Gay. It was Adrian Yanez, which is a great fight.
No, I hope Peyton is actually the real deal, and we see him as a
Kate,
person
all
to
I gotta
climb.
say is
But
I hope Peyton beats him. I
it's a tough
can't
division.
stand Yanez,
It's a
but
tough division to climb in. But if he is good, though, that makes for something great for the story that he climbs up there
yeah,
and beats on some people up there. But um, in other
yep,
news,
exactly.
you sent me. Is there any legitimacy to the Volk stuff? I did speculation stuff. All right, I won't mention it then. Did ooh,
No, I don't think so. Yeah, but Diego Lopez did call him out.
yeah,
Um, as for what he could fight next, I was like,
yeah.
I like the call. I
I
like
know
that
we're
it's
probably
that
going to
bold,
wrap this
but
soon.
and
Two
it could
things
be a good
before
bounce
we
back
end up
fight for
wrapping it.
Volk.
I
But
have
that's not a good fight in my
one
opinion.
is did you see the Izzy and DDP? Like it was
I
definitely
haven't watched it
tension,
yet. I
right?
heard it's electric.
But I feel like
I heard they
Izzy
really
seemed like
don't
he's in a
like
really
each
good
other.
spot, really good place with everything. They definitely had a couple of jabs at each other. Izzy said like, "I don't care where he's from, but I'm gonna show him who he is, like who he is, something like that." He made a line like that. And DDP is like, "It's good to hear you took
Ooh,
up
that
golf
was a good
because that's
line.
definitely a retirement sport." Um, he's he's good. He's good on mic.
It's like it's good that you're going to be going back to that. He
It's
is
funny.
very good on the mic, man.
He also kind of
If
cleared up what
if there's
his
somebody
thinking
who's
was about
needed
the
as a champ
African
to be
thing.
good
He
on the
said he didn't
mic,
mean
it's
it
him.
like
Like, 'cause,
disrespectfully. He was just
yeah,
saying that I am the only person who lives in Africa currently. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hmm
but I feel like he was saying it as a way to get some publicity out of it
yeah.
too. If I was trying to be, yeah,
Oh,
as a
I
prize
think
fighter, I
he
for
was
sure would be trying
getting.
to do
I
something
was.
like that too.
I mean,
But yeah, I
wouldn't
think it hit
you
a little home
like
because
if
there
you're
was
like
three
at that
active
point?
champions at the time,
Yeah,
and they're probably like, buddy,
no.
like three Nigerian champions. Like, relax a little bit, bud.
Hey,
I had
brother.
one more thing too. Another fight. Oh, I saw that Ilya said that they offered Max the fight,
Yep.
and Max said he has family issue stuff going on, and weight cuts would be hard. I don't know if I trust Ilya Tapori. I mean, I feel like he just be capping. He just be lying about everything. I'm like, I feel like yeah,
No.
right.
Yeah. Max just fought too, brother. Like he just went into a 5 rounder with
He
in
is
one of the
scared.
best fights of the year, and not only that, but like Ilya, like you were calling out Brian
Definitely
Ortega
scared.
as your next
He knows
fight,
what's
brother.
up, bro. He
Who's
must
not
know
even
he's
going to be
scared.
fighting at 145 anymore. Like
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, that they'll fight at the end of the year. I think they'll fight at the end of the year. I don't think that the year goes by without really attempting to defend it,
Yeah,
which he will not. He will lose to Max. I am like
yeah.
110% confident
I saw
that Ilya does not
Sean.
make it through. Yeah,
Wow,
I just
forgetting his last name.
speed.
No, other Sean. Sean O'Malley. O'Malley said that he's going to beat Marab in the first round or second
Strickland,
round. But he said he's like, I'm gonna knock him out in the
O'Malley.
first second round. Right? He says that. And he's like, he said he's way better than Aljo. He said,
If he,
keep in mind, he's better than Aljo. And he said
I'll say
that,
that.
and I got to thinking, I'm like, why do I have a feeling he may knock him out too? And I don't like that. I don't like that.
Man's knows something.
He gets cracks.
Well. The one thing that we've talked about, I was like, yeah, Marab's the man. Marab's the man. There was a fight. No, that the Marlon Moraes fight was the one I keep coming up. It's like when he walks forward with his hands down, he gets kicked and he gets sent to the like. He should have been. That fight should have been stopped. Like he should not have made it out of that fight because he hit the canvas like 3 times, and Buddy was all intents and purposes out of it. And the only reason he made it out is because Marlon can't take a punch to save his life too. But no, I was thinking that the other day when he's been talking up, like I'm gonna beat him. Like, and yeah, like confidence covers a lot of things, as we felt with the Yuri thing. But like Sean's one of the few fighters you can be like, he sees something. It's like the Conor effect. Like when you see something and a fighter is not specifically calling something out, but knowing, it's almost like I know something on film that nobody else does, and I know I can get it done because I practice it enough, and I know that's happening.
He knows something.
So, have they
this fall? I would say September, October.
When are they fighting again? Or not again?
Yeah,
when are they fighting?
I agree. I kind of feel like Sean O'Malley is going to get him. I also think that Corey Sandhagen and Sean, if that happens after this one, Corey's not fast enough, man. He's just not fast enough, and like I don't know, man. If he can't beat T.J. Dillashaw and Peter Young, he didn't fight Peter Young, did he? No, he did fight Peter Young. If he can't beat those two, bro, he can't beat Sean. So Sean may leave this year with the belt.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, for the interim. Well, Corey, Corey, I think has his hands full if he's fighting Umar. I think that's just a tough fight, and if he's not, then he has to fight Peter again because Peter is coming back, and I don't see how he wins that fight. Like unless he big time changes what he's doing and how he approaches it. Yeah, he's gonna have to wrestle a lot
because
more.
we covered
so
the women's bantamweight.
It is what it is.
Division a little bit here. There's preliminary news, that the championship fight will be in October between Raquel Pennington and why am I drawing a blank on her name? You know what I'm talking about? Nope. Yeah, Juliana Pena. Yep. Which
Kayla? No, Juliana Pena. Yeah, but she said that there are contract issues right now, so like it's probably not going to happen. But regardless, that is a fight I will be skipping, folks. Yeah.
Or fight both of them. Or fight both of them at the same time.
But like Kayla probably could fight for it now, and I don't think anybody would be upset. Yeah, exactly. Because we know she'd beat them both because neither one of them can actually compete right now. And that's not to say they're not great fighters, but they're not good fighters. So you figure that one out for yourselves there, viewers. Get well soon, right? Cut the tape. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in, so much for watching. Please like and subscribe on the YouTubes. Trying to grow this viewership base here. And we'd love to have our opinion shared out with more. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Catch you guys next week. See ya.